Do not,
Deal of Arise will be coming to here.
yeah, do not enter in 2080.
Oh, boy.
Anyways,
do you have
Cashman's a good one, or anywhere on the bike path, you guys.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, the rail trail.
Yeah,
And what about
Like
Plum
the
Island?
National Grid site's an option, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
Plum Island, you just have one big totem pole that says underwater,
I know, right? Barrier Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not a good place.
No, but I think Plum Island is a good place. Like, say along the turnpike for real.
Oh, yeah.
Like just area. You guys are more artistic than I could ever be. Like, as you drive around, you just see this thing on the side, and they're all the same. You buy 20 of them, and it's all like a similar type of, not a kiosk, but a something that, like how you have a sign that for trail markers for trailheads.
Right.
Yeah.
But seriously, Plum Island is a barrier island, so it plays a vital role.
Yeah.
For Newburyport. So I think
Yeah.
they should
And-
kind
and
of
if
be
you-
acknowledged for that too.
And one artistic idea is truly a trailhead marker that says, river trail left, crest trail right, 2070, here and 2100 there. You know what I mean? You could make it out of wood, or there's a million things you do on the side of the road.
Yeah, I see a lot of complaints from Plum Island residents for something like that. That kind of cuts down on the property value.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we got to think about.
Yep,
They're
absolutely.
not gonna want to drive by that every day on their way home.
No.
We could propose an installation on the pink house on the way out there. That one's
Yeah, the
nice.
pink house, the bottom half could be blue and the top half could be pink.
Exactly.
Level.
There you go.
Who owns
Well,
the
no,
pink-
that's why I was saying taking a different take on Plum Island and saying the importance of Plum Island
Right.
to
Sure. Well,
Newbury and Newburyport and I don't know.
An interpretive sign at Joppa Park about the importance at the Audubon's Joppa site, talking about the importance of the barrier island to the protection of everything behind it. It's not the same proposal, but it's a good idea.
Right. It's a positive
Mhm.
for Plum Island, which gets so much negative.
All right, so I'm wondering, we've strayed away, and I think it's fine, from what Andy, what you had originally sent, because that was, it was a sculpture. A concrete example of a sculpture. But if we're open to doing that or something different, I think it would be great to reach out, Sarah, to the NAA and say, hey, we're thinking of doing this contest of soliciting ideas for a sculpture, interpretive, some kind of informational sculpture dealing with climate resilience in Newburyport. And just tossing out some of the ideas we just said and seeing if anyone bites. Does that sound like a good next step? And
And we'll just confirm that all the
Yeah.
options we're talking about here are sort of on the table. I tend to agree with the idea of maybe not, at least for now, talking about Plum Island and focusing on some of these, park spaces where you get right down to the water's edge. But I think if we can confirm that there's agreement on some, the options here, then we're just down to how do we mechanically get it done? Who's paying, money?
We can put the feelers out, and if nobody bites, we can still go down other paths, but might as well try to get them to get involved with us. We haven't gotten them yet, so.
One thing that might play into this too, not to belabor the conversation, but there's new CSO signs that are going up around the city, and they have QCR codes.
Yeah.
That will take you back and get the information about the current
Right.
thing. You could do the similar thing with these signs to tell a bigger backstory if somebody wanted to.
yeah,
What's this sign mean and why?
That's a good point, actually. And although it might be nice to have some text or interpretation in the
Yeah, you have
field,
some,
and
but-
that is true that with the World Wide Web and things evolving the way they are, we could keep that stuff up to date too, and just have a little, a little icon or something with
Right, easy to
Yeah.
do. Everybody has that now, and
The climate future signs have that.
But we also don't want too many signs around either, do we?
right.
Oh, Jim,
No.
Yeah.
McCarthy.
McCarthy. Yeah, that's not gonna go over well.
I owe him a phone call.
Well, let's see how far we get. Andy and Julia, if you could confirm that there's interest in the mayor's office and if there's any, location wise, and then Sarah will wait, I guess, to hear from them, and then we'll reach out. But again, the application for community groups is due April 3rd. And so I'd like to have this in by then as well, just to be fair for everyone.
Yep.
So short order. But exciting, because we've been talking about this for a while. I remember when I joined, that was one of the conversations. So awesome.
Just one more thought on
Yeah.
that. If we don't have like a proposal as part of our community partnership element when the grant is due, could we put in something of our own in the grant as like a line item for $2,500 that is a design competition for public information installation regarding sea level rise?
Yeah, no, I
Or-
just kind of poo-pooed that, but now that I think about it, why not? So I think that, Sarah and I will, and Julia will talk about
Okay, we can talk about that.
how we
later.
can do that. But yeah. All right, anything else on that?
Nope.
All right, John Eric, the flap grant, or do you want to take that?
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
So the National Fish and Wildlife folks gave Newbury and us a call. Essentially, we collectively submitted an application for doing a study to raise Plum Island Turnpike. That's the bottom line. It's a federal highway grant. But the people that, Fish and Wildlife, they run the reservation. Is that right, Molly and Julia?
Fish and Wildlife runs a reservation, yes,
Yeah,
just
they
their
do.
property, just their property.
Exactly. So the thought process here is having one federal agency help the other to make sure that access is always maintained.
Yeah.
So, it's Plum Island Turnpike. At the last minute, this is just editorial. At the last minute, I asked the guy, I go, what about Sunset Boulevard? Because he's talking about the entrance to the reservation where you head
Yeah.
to Shirley, Sandy Point. And I got to find out if that made it to the application, because that's a different.
You're right.
It's a different animal. You got the
Yeah, you're right.
houses. Yeah. So we'll find out.
But you
but the
can't
good
get
news
there
is-
with,
Yeah,
you can't
Yeah.
get there without that.
Yeah. So the good news is that, they got it. It's 170 or 175,000, something like that. That's about it.
Oh, okay.
What's the time frame?
That I don't know, because when they awarded it, the only thing I got was a quick email. And
Okay,
when it comes to this type of stuff, we had one grant that we thought was going to start this year, and it was delayed a full year.
wow.
I was shocked on that one. It was a lot of money, or some money that we got for our stormwater. And so it could start this year or not. I'll find out and I'll let you know.
okay.
John Eric, do we have anyone in mind to do this? Did someone help us with the RFP already?
So the technical, I got involved for technical. So, Newbury was pretty much working with National Fish and Wildlife.
Yep.
And I called an engineering firm just to get some rough numbers on what we're looking at to put together the cost. The short answer is, I believe they're the ones that are going to hire an engineering firm.
Who is they?
Newbury? or Fisher
Newbury.
Island? Newbury.
So it's Martha and
Yeah. Tracy.
Kristen Grubbs is now the assistant planner over there.
Oh, that's right, I saw
Oh,
that.
Did you guys know that?
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. I thought she was still
Ye-
in Switch River.
Yeah. So that's huge. So she's all pumped up to get that going.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's great. I saw her over a Zoom meeting for MVP. Can't remember what it was about at this point. I was like, oh my gosh, someone's there, Resiliency Newbury. So I told her I'd reach out and, try to get a conversation going. So that was really great to hear there.
Yeah.
Totally.
So as soon as I get more information, Jane, I'll let you know.
Okay, Thank you very much. All right, anything else on that? Moving on, did everyone have a chance to take a look at the draft letter for the Indian Hill Pipeline, letter of support for Markey and
Yep.
Representative
I
Warren?
does not.
Okay, would you be able to, Molly, if you feel like you need to look at it, take a look at it soon, because it needs to
Yeah.
go out tonight.
No, you-
and- Go ahead.
What do you guys think? Does everyone think it's okay?
I do.
Sarah and
That was
Sam
good.
added a little bit of background on potential algae bloom or the algae bloom and just a little bit more background on it and also affecting West Newbury
Newbury.
in Newbury. So, and I thought that was great, but
I'll take a quick look at it. If I have anything, I'll send it right away after, but
Okay.
if not, then just go ahead.
perfect.
I like the language that I was read it just a few minutes ago. I was gonna chime in, but I had somebody already gotten to it, so it was great. I think just the fact that it's referencing 3 towns adds bolsters, because they oftentimes love regional projects or, is more of a population that's affected by something, so that's good too.
I'll second that. Very, very good addition, Sarah, very good addition. Well written.
All right, excellent. So Molly, if I don't hear back from you shortly after the meeting, I'll get that.
Yeah, yeah.
up. And I guess I'll sign it, right? Chair of the committee. Okay. Excellent. So committee updates. Sarah, you talked about the storm surge story of plastics showing on 420. Do you want to just say where that is again?
Yeah, that's at the screening room. You can get your tickets now. They're going fast, so I'd encourage people to get them. There's no charge. But you have to go to the screening room's website to get to register for tickets, or I can send the link out if you prefer. So yeah, that's going well, all the planning for that. Then we also have May and June speakers lined up.
All right. Yeah, could you send the link out to us just to make it
Yeah,
easier?
Yep, yep.
Brett sent a written update on the story maps and where we are on that. Brett, was there anything that you wanted to ask the group or get input from specifically?
Well, first of all, thanks for the pictures. We're gonna go through those, and that'll be a big shaping force behind this new story map. Just trying to get through it right now. Again, we're trying to improve traffic a little bit with some different ideas, but one thing, I've been trying to get in touch with James Pope to find out a little bit more. There were a couple of items, and he hasn't gotten back to me. Yeah, well, we're trying to find out about some training that was supposedly being offered to volunteers, and then
That would actually be Andrew Levine and
Andrew Levine, yeah.
for the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did ask about that last week at a meeting, and he doesn't have an answer on it right now, but it is something on his list of things to do. He did send out a user and password for people to learn how to use the website, but I think that was just to staff. So I can send him a quick email and copy you on it.
Okay, thanks. And then the other thing was that we were trying to see if there was any way to get any type of analytics from the city's website for, clicks on resiliency page.
Okay,
You
So
did,
Brett, I did ask Andrew about that and I thought I forwarded it. If I
yeah,
did,
you did. I saw it.
It is, I missed it, I guess.
but what he wasn't able to give us right away was how many people have been signed up, have already signed up for the alerts, like resiliency alerts. So we still need that information.
But so there's a way to track the number of clicks on the resiliency page on the city website?
Yes.
How do you
Yes.
do that? How?
It
He said
wasn't
around.
fantastic.
So he can get it. I don't know that we can get it.
Oh,
But he did send that. I think I forwarded it.
Let me find it and send it to you
I
again.
guess I missed it, so my bad.
That's okay.
and so I'll send Andrew one and just mention the training. But if you want to chime in about anything else website, Brett, you could do that with him.
Okay, great, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you both. So, related to the website, and someone might have already told me this, so I apologize if I've asked it and it's been answered. But how do we get something out on a resiliency alert? Does everyone know what I'm talking about? Like, everyone can sign up for these alerts and click on
Right.
resiliency. How does how would I go about putting out information that would go out? Or where do I
Well, right now, you would have to send it, it would have to be posted on where it is on resiliency, where resiliency lies, which I think is in planning, right, Andy?
Yeah.
And then, so Andy has a news and announcement, feature on his page. And then it would be, they would be alerted from that. That's how it works on, if someone signed up for recycling, it's under the recycling page, then they're alerted once there. So it's not from the homepage news and announcement, it's from the page where it lives.
Okay. All right,
So
so
You have to
Go ahead.
add that to the resiliency page.
It's already there. We've got a news and alerts section on the page.
that just whatever we want to do needs to go into that specific section, and then it automatically goes out as an alert. Is that what is that?
It should in theory, but,
Well, we'll try it then. I'm gonna
try it, do a test and see.
So should I send it to you, Julia, or Andy, the announcement for the community partners? Or do I
But
just send
Julia,
one
I
to
think,
Andrew
Yeah,
first?
you can send it to me.
yeah,
But are you talking about what's already up on our webpage?
Well, whatever's on our webpage didn't trigger the alert.
Oh, got it. So the alert, but I got an email about it. How did that go
Yeah.
out? Yeah,
I
Was
got-
that for planning or?
I got
I
an email
got it from
I
planning.
got it from City of Newburyport.
Yeah, so then she's,
I got an email. So it's
Yeah, but-
whatever happened.
it might be just an issue with the back end. Where is it being tagged? So we can check with Diane and try to see, but maybe we need to adjust like which pages or which things are being captured on these
Yeah.
outgoing.
Or maybe it depends on what you've signed up for
Yeah, I'm thinking it's something like
already.
that.
it
Yeah.
Because
does.
I'm signed up for some bunch of alerts from planning office already, so maybe that's why I got
The
it.
one that I saw came from planning. It said,
Yeah.
you had to dig a little
can
bit to
find
see
it.
where it was from, but it was from the planning page.
Yeah,
So
But
we
there-
want to make sure it goes out, anything goes out also to anyone who signs up for resiliency specifically.
Exactly.
Because I'm signed up for resiliency, I didn't get anything, so that's how I knew.
Mhm.
yeah, I did notice, and maybe it's related, but I did notice there was one alert, at least that I noticed, where it had no indication of like what topic it was or where it was coming from, but it did point correctly to some sort of announcement. I forget where it was, but like the last week or two. And I had flagged that as something we might want to just tweak, so we're not sending out alerts to people, but it doesn't even indicate in the email what it's about. So, so it might be related to that kind of stuff, like back end,
Okay.
what things
I
are people
got-
signing up for, what listserv are they on, and what's the tag that's attached to it.
Let me mute myself. 'cause there's-
All right, so I just sent a news alert to Andrew Levine for the city's homepage. And so Julia, I'll send you that to post wherever we need to for resiliency. I'm sure we can figure that one out.
So I just found the email that I got, and it's from Newburyport, Mass, and it says funding opportunity. It's literally just Mass Newburyport, and the whole email says funding opportunity. And then it says read more, and it says this is automatic message from Newburyport, Mass. Please do not
Oh, yeah,
reply.
that was the one I was thinking of, and I might have had an
And if you
exchange briefly
click
with
it,
Julia and Diane about it, but that was the
And
example.
I-
I was sort of like, what is it about?
Yeah, and I click on the link and it takes me directly to our
Right.
planning development webpage and with the funding opportunity. Like,
Right,
that's-
but the planning and development webpage, not the resiliency webpage. So resiliency also has an alert subscription. So people who signed up for the resiliency alerts didn't get that.
Didn't get it. That's odd. Okay.
Okay, so then Diane needs to make sure she checks off that box on,
On the
she has an
resiliency
option of where
page.
to do that, and she just has to make sure it's where, if it's under planning or wherever it's listed, people would get it.
Okay.
All right, I'll talk to Diane about it.
Yeah,
And Julia, I'll send you another one. I reworded it a little bit because I had some more time, so it's a little bit more engaging. But I'll do that after the meeting.
Okay. Sounds
Thank you. All right, moving on to Reg's working group, the My Map.
Before we
Oh,
leave,
yeah.
I just wanted to mention that we got a request from the Newburyport Earthport Film Festival to have the Resiliency Committee of, at their opening reception with a table, passing out some handouts. I'm thinking, Julia, your handout. So just as an
Brochure.
FYI, yeah, the
Well,
brochure.
When
Yeah.
would it be? When do they?
I've asked them when and how many people would they expect and all that, but I haven't heard that back yet.
Okay.
I think
Right.
it might be April 23rd.
I have the date right here. Hold on. It is. It is the 23rd, Sunday night, 5:30 PM.
And that is who again?
Earthport Film Festival. It's NCN Hub and Co. There's there's a group that works on it.
And it's April 23rd.
Yeah, it's Sunday.
They've
Okay, I'm not
asked
gonna be around.
if we're interested in having a table at the opening, like ceremony or something like that. Does that sound right, Sarah?
Yeah.
And so we thought of Julia, the brochure, but I also thought if we have a table, we might as well bring a computer and monitor and put up our story map for the infrastructure projects so that we can flip through those and show folks what the city's up to. That sits well with everyone.
Sounds good.
Kind of advertises that it's out there. It's engaging visually.
I'm not gonna be here on the 23rd, but I will get the brochures and stuff to you.
Okay, I can attend it.
At City Hall.
Yeah, I'll be there too. So we can all
Awesome.
tag team.
Yay. Okay, anything else before we move on? My map floodplain, John Eric, I know you're busy. How's it going? With MVPC? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about that. So that's all, it's still internal. We got comments from Rick. Does anyone else have any comments?
We
If you
haven't,
don't, that's totally fine, because it's still it's still a moving target that we can always adjust. He's out today. He's gonna jump on that again tomorrow. And we just have to, it's probably about a half a day, Jane, and then we'll get that over to MVPC.
okay. Who's he?
Our assistant engineer, Nick.
Okay, all right. And
Yeah.
so are you working off of what I sent in terms of that punch list from our last regs meeting? Do you need that again? Or are you all set?
No, we're working off that and Rick's comments.
Comments,
And
okay.
once we get that, I mean, what I envision is just send it to you guys again for
Okay.
a quick review
Okay.
before we go to MVPC. Do you want to do that? Or just go to MVPC?
Well, I don't know, what will we have to review?
Bonehead mistakes.
Oh,
The color, you might not like the color.
okay,
Let's go to MVPC, and then it's better if we set it up on the website. That way you'll know.
that's what I was thinking. And we're gonna have the
fine.
two different colors, right? The two different options, and I think it'll just we'll be able to figure it out, no problem, if we see
Yeah.
that. Okay, cool. And in terms of the climate questionnaire that we're all working on, I haven't felt the urgency just because those maps aren't done. But has anyone seen Rick lately? I haven't been able to contact, I haven't heard back.
I'll be seeing Rick tonight at the planning board meeting if.
Okay. I just.
At least I think
heard
it
back
will.
from him, and I normally hear back from him like that day, and so I didn't know if he was out or not, but I can bug him too.
Yeah, he's always involved with something, but he may just be busy at the moment because like you said, he's usually pretty quick.
That's what I assumed, but didn't know if he was out of the country or something, so. Yeah, because Andy, I know I told you that I was gonna get you that text for the questionnaire, but I had a couple of
Yeah,
outstanding questions for Rick,
sure.
and that's why I haven't gotten that to you. But John Eric, we do have the disclosure, this disclaimer language as well that I sent you, the MVPC can put that up. But,
Yeah.
do you want
Yeah,
that in, or are you all set?
No, I think that I recall that being all set.
Okay, cool.
And that's the beauty of, it's still in beta test until, we'll take one look at it. Once everything's put together, you get a better sense of what needs to be revised, if anything. So that's fine. We'll have the disclaimer and all the colors, and then we'll give it one last review.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Grants, we talked about FLAP. Sarah, do you want to update the group on the MVP where we are?
Yeah, can I share that couple of slides, or can you share that slides?
I don't have it up. Do you have it up?
Hang on, I got it.
All right. Julia, Sarah will need permission to share if she doesn't have it already.
Sorry, she'll be able to share. Yep.
Thank you.
Just gotta find it.
I'm looking at the website, back on the website, and resiliency still, it's kind of hard to tell where it is, but Julia, just tell Diane to look for where it originally lived to make sure that people get information from resiliency.
Okay. From where it originally was.
Yeah, it might be under recycling energy, but I'm not sure. But Diane will know. She can,
Okay.
she has more permissions than I do, so.
Okay.
Okay, hopefully I'm sharing a couple of quick slides here.
Yeah.
All right, so just quickly, the outline of the grant requirements themselves. The application is going to be due in early May, the awards in August sometime. And then the time frame for the spending of the grant money is September to June of 2025. So it can either be fiscal year 24 or 25.
Sarah, that would be September 2023 to 2020.
Oh,
to
I'm
June
sorry.
2025,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Thank
I was
you.
confused by
Sorry.
that too, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, no, it's still to 2025 though.
Yes, we're still to 2025. It's a 2-year.
Oh, right. Got it.
Sorry, what's the matching source? I'm sorry for not knowing if we already discussed it.
Yep.
but what's the
No, so
matching
that's what we're trying to make sure we're all on the same page here. So
Okay,
match can be cash or in-kind contributions. Last year, Nancy was leaning towards hours of people working, you guys working on the resiliency committee for the in-kind contribution.
okay,
Or it can be a combination of two, but the city has to provide a letter saying that they're on board with supplying that 25% match.
I'm
And it
good
can-
with the in-kind time myself
Yeah.
in this instance. I think it makes the most sense.
Kind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
The only thing I don't understand with that is it has to get translated to dollars somehow, because we're calculating an amount of dollars that we want to spend on the grant. So
We'd give you, I think we'd have to give you just a
Hourly.
little cheat sheet, worksheet that shows hourly rate times
Yeah.
hours,
And
adding up to the matching amount, right?
And if
So,
And then
that's
the-
included, Nancy
this-
knows how to do all that.
the city allocates that dollars in any case, right? Okay,
Hourly rate per person, yeah, everyone knows what their hourly rate is and just multiply
Yeah.
that hours, yeah.
right. I
I think
get
it would
that.
make sense to list off the staff folks that might be involved. So myself, Julia, John Eric, Molly, so folks
Yep.
like that might be listed as employees that, would be devoting time to it in one way or another as match. And she would just tally that number so it, lines up with the match that we have, right? So. we
That's
have
what,
to have.
that's what she did last time.
Yeah,
And then the city gives the original outline, pays out for each of the deliverables, and then submits for reimbursement on a monthly basis as the deliverables are completed. And it requires a statement of support from the city for the match. So these are the big items that we've got in the grant at this point. There was another smaller one for things like web work and a logo and things like that, but putting that aside. So partnering with nonprofit groups, schools, service organizations to fund projects that they want to do related to climate resiliency. We have done 2 major mailings to partners at this point, and we've got about 39 people who have expressed interest either to the first or the second mailing. We've got 3 applications back so far, and we just sent the applications out last week. They're due 4/3, so we're getting a good amount of interest. I'll be surprised if we don't get up to 20 people back based on what people have said they want to do so far. Then the second one is a it's tied into the first one. It's a community education workshop to raise awareness and identify actions associated with the resiliency plan. We've asked each of the people who are part of these partner groups that want to apply for a grant, whether they will be willing to attend this half-day workshop. So that's for them and for anybody else in the city that's interested. And we'd have a group in Ipswich that we've found that would help us develop that half-day training. The third item is an advocacy workshop for city staff, city leaders, including the council, boards and commissions. And this is sort of the basics of climate change and climate justice and how to integrate it into all aspects of the city's operation. This would be a longer term training. When we were looking at this last year, we thought of it as, I think it was like a couple hours over several weeks. So you dedicate a couple hours each week for 4 weeks or something like that for this training. So that's one we want to make sure that everybody's on board on before we invest in it. It's a pretty high cost item to develop that and deliver that. And then the fourth one is we're looking at as another green expo. The last one was done, I think, in 2020. This would be kind of our capstone project, and we'd roll in all those different projects that completed from the community groups, as well as other things similar to what was done last time, and make that kind of our grand finale. So does that make sense to
Yeah.
everybody?
That's great. Really great.
Yeah.
So I think,
Go ahead, Sarah.
I was just saying, I think we should make this, the mayor's aware of it because we've had a conversation with them, Jane has. I don't know that the city council is aware of it, and I think they probably should be before we submit it.
I can reach out to Councilor Shand to give her a heads up that this is in the works. See what her
Maybe.
response is.
And maybe Connie can advocate for it.
Yeah,
That would be good.
talk to Connie. All right. I had a couple questions for the group. In terms of the local partners and the applications, oops, Sarah, can you?
Oh, sorry.
I don't lose my focus, which is so easy to do.
Yep.
But yeah, we need to figure out who's going to review the applications in that process. And so I'd love for at least a few of us to be able to sit down together to review those. And so looking for volunteers for that. And you don't have to tell me right away, but it would be great. Even if we're all involved, if we can just, meet and look at those as they come in. And then I'm also interested, because I know that we've all attended workshops before, some way more than others. But we really want these to be effective. And so what works, what doesn't work? And, the last thing I want to see, and I'm sure Sarah agrees, and I think we all would, is to just have it spewing information at folks. Because that's no fun to attend. And I don't know, what do they do when they leave with all this information? And so before we finalize the application, we'll be reaching out to get some input from you guys on what you think would work best. And what what's the ideal there. So any ideas right now are more than welcome.
I have a question for you,
We can
Jane.
have a conversation. Yeah.
Is one related to two? Like, would
Yeah.
you bring the
Yes.
people? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it will be anyone who has been accepted into the, any successful applicant, as well as general public. And we're going to very much reach out to folks that aren't normally, included. So lower income, we were talking with the Affordable Housing Trust folks. And trying to get a broad swath of the community there. So yeah.
So these 4 items aren't separate. They're all independent of they're codependent of each other. So the number one brings in a bunch of partners that have ideas, then those attend the workshop and we continue that conversation?
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. And then the number 3 is just simply helping out, engaging the, workshop for the city. How is that linked to number 2?
It's not, except that we talked to the same nonprofit in Ipswich about helping us develop both tracks of training, but they would be independent.
All right. So this is really 3 is like an extension of what we're doing now, isn't it?
We're hoping broader. Well, what do you mean what we're doing now as a committee or?
Yeah, no, I like 3 a lot.
Mhm.
So it's essentially what we're doing is we're opening up our work to the city and working with the city department heads to figure out how to make everything more resilient.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're
So-
thinking department heads, boards and commissions. There's so many
yeah.
that I've talked to on other boards that don't really know what we're doing. It hasn't really crossed their desk, so how would they know?
Okay, so this grant really has a few different separate scope items. The 1 and 2 are linked. 3 is separate.
Yep.
I got you.
And
Yeah.
4 is
But Jane, correct me if I'm wrong, Jane and Sarah, this number 3, this advocacy workshop is put on, it's not going to be us like
not
developing
that
and
it's
putting on the, it's
no.
there's somebody who does this for
Right.
communities already. They have a whole program around climate justice, et cetera, that they put on for municipalities.
And I can send out a summary of that.
Yeah.
We have from last year's grant application, they gave us a proposal for this.
Yeah.
And so we can send you their website and their background and that proposal if you want to read it.
And then would we sort of discuss with them how to kind of tailor it to Newburyport specifically?
Yeah.
Yes.
It would be a few hours of our time to work with them to tailor it and what are the messages we want to get across.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think it's gonna work really well for us.
And when I spoke to the mayor about it, he was really interested as well. So we have support there.
And the state really loves that item.
Mm.
The MVP folks are trying to push that across
that-
all communities. So they really like that one.
Maybe it'll get us out of having to do MVP 2.0.
Or they want us to consider this MVP 2.0 because that's what MVP 2.0 is all about.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, oh, this is really similar to what we're doing. Like, yeah.
Mhm.
So it's important. And then for the expo, we would hope that anyone who does a project would present it and say, hey, this is what we did. This is our experience. This is why, yeah. This is why we felt it was important. And Sarah, did you mention that we've reached out to the chamber as
Yeah,
well?
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, the chamber's gotten back to us. They're interested in meeting with us to talk about the expo. So I don't know if we've got that set up or not, but we will.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but yeah, it's a lot of work, this expo. I've done it twice.
Yep.
It's a ton of work, but it's well worth it. And hopefully, as long as the chamber helps us, that is crucial.
We were also thinking we would put in some funding for an event planner so that it's not all.
Oh, that would be great, because that's really the hard part is all the logistics.
Yeah.
That'd be huge.
So all of this stuff adds up to quite a bit of money. It's like $150,000 for the grant.
Yeah, that's great.
When we talked to Michelle, she said, yeah, that sounds like it's within the realm of what we'd expect. So they
And
weren't.
it's small money compared to what other grant applications are asking for.
Right.
Yeah.
Big money for us, but small for
Yeah.
them.
So our most pressing priority right now is having a process and a group together to review the applications. So if anyone is interested, let us
Obviously,
know.
include me.
Okay.
Yeah,
thank
I'll
you.
help.
you.
I'll help.
If, I'm assuming because they're all going to be available electronically, kind of a quick skim would be easy.
Yeah.
I'm happy to review those as well. So.
Okay.
Actually,
we'll-
Jane, this
Yeah.
might be a decent suggestion. I mean, why don't you just give it to all of us, and if we happen to have time that day. I mean, I know that Andy and Julie just committed, but for myself, I can't commit, but I'll be glad to if I'm available.
Okay, all right. So what Sarah and I think we'll do, and Julia will run it by you as well, is more formalize our, it won't be an intense process, but formalize the process a bit in terms of review, like how we're going to be looking at them, how we'll be, I don't know if we'll get into a specific rating, but we may. And give that out when you, so that when you take a look at it, you'll know what we're looking, we'll all be looking for the same for the same things.
Great idea.
All this stuff is on Google Drive, so I can send out a pointer if anybody wants to poke around and see who's applied and who hasn't. That's all out there.
It's such a great diversity of groups. It's really exciting.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
really
huge.
great.
This is huge.
Yeah.
You did a lot of work, Sarah, and whoever else helped out. This is a lot of work.
Sarah,
Thank
Sarah
you.
and Jane have done so
Yeah,
much. It's
yeah.
unbelievable.
Thank you,
They've done the
guys.
whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff.
We better
Lot of
get the
follow-up.
grant. That's all I
Better
can
get the
say.
grant.
Oh,
Right.
it's coming. I feel it.
Told Sarah the other day, I'm jumping off the cliff if we don't get this thing.
Michelle was
Just for the
very-
local community engagement from this one, I don't know how
Yeah.
they could not grant it, so I think it's hopefully worth all the effort that you put out. I think it's great, so.
And isn't it gonna be cool? And I can just picture that over, the next year and a half, just projects popping up all over the city by all these different groups and people.
Yeah, it's really great.
It's gonna be fun. Hopefully it's gonna be fun.
Like the forever green, but extend it for a year and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna
Cool.
stop.
All right. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Before we get to any quick city project updates, and anybody have anything else they want to discuss today?
Good.
Good?
Yep.
All right, John Eric, do you have anything that you want to update the group about? Feel like we should talk about?
I'll do them real quick. Lower Artichoke Dam is still, we're setting up meetings with the regulatory agencies. And that is happening right now. We sent out a doodle poll for that. So hopefully before our next meeting, we will have met them. And once we meet with them, I will have a lot of feedback to you guys on how lucky or unlucky we may be able to be.
All right.
I'm pushing, just to let you know, our invitation, we gave them 4 bullets for our goal. And I'm pushing to raise the dam 10 feet for the earthen berm and raise the water level 6. Our
Yeah.
consultant thinks that's an attainable goal. So kudos to this group for starting that, because it got legs and it's happening.
Good.
It's great.
This
That's
is a
great.
huge deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal.
It is.
John Eric, when you talk about raising the water elevation 6 feet, is that given the existing surrounding topography, or are you elevating the berm for the entire area?
So that's a great question. And so essentially it's taken advantage of the existing topography, because what I'm going to push to sell, and our consultant will join me in the push, there's no development around the lower and upper. Like it's not like flooding the central western Mass for the Quabbin days. It's not like that. We aren't burying a church and and have an underground steeple in the underwater. The impacts are very, very minor. So I'm hoping that we can do it all the way around. Yeah.
Great. Okay, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure. I was talking with Jordy about it the other day, and he didn't think that's what you intended, but I just wanted to confirm that is.
Yeah, it sounds extreme, but it's really not, you guys. There's no development, and we need it. We need more storage for drought. It's only 4.7 feet deep on average for the lower. The upper's like 7. We need more volume.
Yep. And there's
You know what I
already some
mean?
good, there's already some good slopes adjacent to the reservoir, right? that we can-
Exactly, it's 6 feet, if it's a 3-to-1 slope, that's only going in, 18 feet is not a big deal.
Right.
It's not. Eminent domain will do it, and I think it's attainable. I think we can do it. We'll find out.
Yep.
Okay, Indian Hill Raw Water, that is still under design. The water supply protection and treatment, Amesbury Interconnect. We're getting a peer review for that, for the interconnect, just for the hydraulics. WTP upgrades. Tom's putting together a proposal from AECom on that. Those upgrades are mostly for treatment, possibly for PFAS. We'll find out. Watershed management is, I reviewed Wood and Kern's draft report the other day, and we have to have a meeting with them to give that back to them. The flood protection sidewalls, no change. We haven't jumped on that yet. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Yeah, I was listening, back to the Lower Artichoke Dam. It's this race against time kind of thing. And I was listening to this news out of California, and this guy, I can't remember if he's a representative or not, but they were working on levees and reinforcing their levees, and they finally went through the design and the permitting phase, and they were going to construct it next year, and they got flooded out. And just busted open. Their town's under 8 feet of water, and I was like, oh, totally different situation, but same thing. Like, let's just get this done.
Seriously, let's get it done.
Like, I got a little spooked, so I'm really glad to hear that you're meeting with them this month.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh.
huge.
All right, thanks. Andy, anything for Central Waterfront or even Bulkhead that we should know?
Jordy's out right now. He's definitely, they're going ahead right now with finalizing that bid package and getting that out on the street. So that project, as far as we can tell, will start up in the fall or late fall and the winter season. There's an overlap with the park project. Those bids are due on the 22nd of this month, so about a week from now. We'll see how things pan out after the bids. We'll have a much better sense of where we fall in terms of budget and all that. So I'm hopeful that the base bids are obviously within budget, and we're still trying to fundraise for some site amenities and things. We've applied for a couple of grants to cover the gap as well, and still no timeline just yet for the phase 2 parking areas and the landscaping that goes in those areas at the edge of the park or the visitor building. So it's a quick summary.
All right. And you got the MIPA permit, right?
We did finally get out of MIPA. They took a lot longer than necessary, and I would say, mischaracterized the project in some ways. But we're at least done with that process. Julia, feel free to chime in, but at least we're done with that.
I'll abstain on that one.
Yay. Check, right? Julie, do you have anything on Reservation Terrace or Plum Island in general that you feel like?
Status quo out there for the most part. I think they survived the storm. I don't think we had any astronomical high tides or anything, but yeah, the dredge is still on pause. Now they're bringing up a new piece of equipment, the Delaware, from Delaware, I believe, or somewhere around there. And that should be able to handle the seas and the winds, etc. And they expect to be done with the dredge project by the end of April. They have an extension on the time window from the state, and thereby also from the Conservation Commission. Joe might remember there's a special condition in our order that allows them to go beyond April 1st as long as the state allows for it in writing. So that's been done. So hopefully by the end of April, we have 400 feet of new dune out there. We'll see how that actually plays out when the dredge comes. But and then in addition to that, we're just waiting to hear back from FEMA on the buyout grants, which we just still don't have any news, but hopefully in the next month or two, I'm expecting maybe we'll hear.
Julia, were there any new movement of rocks around on Plum Island this past week? As I saw a news report that showed a backhoe moving a bunch of boulders on Plum Island.
Yeah, they may have been trying to re-stabilize that wall. I wasn't involved. I wasn't out there. So
So
I
is
don't
that the
know
city doing
the
that?
details.
This- you know,
I don't know.
okay.
Don't look at me.
Thank you.
I don't know either. Knew nothing about it.
Alrighty. And CSOs, Brett, you mentioned that, yeah, that news article I saw in the paper too, probably all did, about the signs and the QR codes for CSO releases. So that's progress, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good. Did we miss anything? I don't think so. Next meeting falls on April vacation, school vacation, and I might not be here. Julia, you're shaking your head too. I'm wondering if the group can meet on the 26th instead. And I would have to reach out to Barry and Connie as well.
Okay with me.
It's fine with me.
Yeah, that works for me too.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no,
No,
I might not be here also for the reason, so that's, yeah, just leave me. Yeah, don't plan around me.
Works for me.
That would just be same time, right? 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
as usual?
Yeah.
Yeah.
we can do it.
I'm just gonna
Okay.
hold it for now. I don't know.
Yeah, if you could, I'll send, I'll get in touch with Bonnie, Bonnie, put him together, Barry and Connie. See
Okay.
how that works as well. That'd be great if we could do that. Mike Strauss from EAVAC is going to join us and give us a quick update on what that group is doing. That's the plan anyway, so he'll be with us for at least a little bit. And I'm going to bring this up again. We don't need to make any decisions, but any strong feelings on going in person or not at this point? Does it?
Now that y'all just had COVID again for the
I know.
second time, I'm good with it. I'm good with in person.
Well, we're getting into nice weather. Well, you know what? They took down the Brown Square.
I know. I was bummed to see that.
I
was like,
know, me
"That's
too.
my meeting spot."
I know, it was a great place to meet, but, so, I don't know, there's really
I
not that
mean,
outdoor space, but,
yeah, we all are in person with everybody else
Yeah,
on a daily basis.
yeah.
Like the grocery store, probably more chance of contamination than sitting in a room with you guys.
Yeah.
I would say.
So I saw a thing on the open meeting law. It's going to move to everybody has to do hybrid. So
right,
if we go in person, we should think about how we
Oh,
still.
Yeah. Do we have to
Really?
go hybrid then? Or can we, is it Zoom or, is that virtual?
is
or
that
hybrid?
right?
In-
I
in-
know that they extended the virtual meetings through, I think, 2025 or 2026.
The
Correct
ability
me if
to-
I'm wrong, Andy, I think it's. the
Yeah,
ability to do
I'm aware
virtual.
of the extension permit remote and hybrid meeting options for public bodies through March 31st, 2025. I was not aware, and I don't know if Sarah, if you have more info. I was not aware that, or did not understand there to be a requirement that all boards and committees would have hybrid access. That would be, generally speaking, I would say that's a lot of burden on cities and towns, but is that your understanding, is that that was incorporated?
Now that you say that, I think it's a proposal.
Yeah, okay. That makes more sense to me, that it would be something in dialogue, but not actually adopted or just yet. Yeah, okay, all right.
I can
'Cause
send you.
That would be a
information.
huge burden.
I
for
think mainly
small
because
communities.
there's still mechanical issues. We're still dealing with some of them with
Right.
equipment and
And it-
upgrades, but I
it-
think all the other
Right,
boards
it
and committees
included
wouldn't be able to do
funding,
it.
it included funding for cities and towns to help migrate to it. And it wasn't an immediate thing. It was over some period of time.
All right.
Okay.
But in the
We can get
meantime-
more info on that one, but I don't think it's a requirement, across the board, more just that we have the option to be either remote or hybrid, and maybe it will evolve into that. I wouldn't be surprised with technology and times being what they are, but I think it would be like a unfunded mandate for local
Yeah.
communities to try to do it by all the boards and committees. We don't unfortunately have the resources.
Andy, can you forward that to me?
For the remote meetings, I mean,
Yeah, I want to make sure that,
I'll forward you what I have. Yep.
yeah, our business manager just gave a
Sure.
resignation, and the new one needs to know what the new one is.
Sure.
If
All
they
right, so
provided
I'm hearing-
funding,
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Julia.
nah, I'm all set with that.
All
Thanks.
right, so I'm hearing that there's some, I don't hear any objections for going in person. Is that right?
Right.
No, I'm good.
No
Let's
objection.
do it then. I'm gonna, all right, so I'll send out an email 26th in person and see what we get back.
All right, I'll check with Diane about the meeting room.
Yeah. Actually, could you do that before I send some
Yeah.
contact? Thank you, Julia. All right, so before we finish, it sounds like, so Julia and Andy, you're gonna talk with mayor's office to see, location, any issues with some kind of art piece, sculptural or otherwise. And then Sarah and I will reach out to the NAA about that. And we'll be contacting the group about reviewing the community partners applications.
Right.
That will be coming up soon. I think that was it for immediate actions.
I'm gonna introduce Brett to Andy. To check
Yes.
it on the website.
Yes. Oh, and Molly, if you can take a quick look at that letter and let me know in the next
Yes.
couple minutes, because I need to get that in before I
Yep.
head out. That'd be awesome.
Okay.
All righty.
Okay,
Thank you all.
sounds
All
good.
right.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye
Take
now.
care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Jane. Good work.